Hey, what's up everybody? This is Stanfrag from Team Endgame, and I'm here to talk about the coolest thing that happened at E3 this year. That's right, Halo 4. Now, a lot of people have been comparing it to Call of Duty, saying that 343 has turned it into some sort of Call of Duty ripoff. I don't think this is the case. It seems to me that 343 has been trying to find a balance between the things that Halo has brought to the first-person shooter genre over the years and the other great things that have came from other games in the genre. And as much as us Halo fans wouldn't like to admit it, there are some great things that Call of Duty has brought to the board that Halo hasn't implemented yet. The first thing that I would say has really characterized Call of Duty would be its pick-up and playability. Just that anybody can pick up and play it and be decent within a few games. The next thing would be its fast pace. With the 0-second respawn timer and no shields, Call of Duty is a drastically faster game than Halo. Then, one of the bigger things that Call of Duty included was loadouts, with the ability for a player to change starting weapons in-game allowed them to immediately adapt to their competitors. And finally, unlockables. With the huge array of guns, skins, scopes, and attachments, it really drove people to play the game. But don't get me wrong, Halo really does a lot of great things that keep me playing. One of the greatest things that can be seen throughout any Halo game would be balance. From each player starting with the same weapon to standard weapon spawns on the maps, multiplayer doesn't really get any more balanced. The next thing that I would say really characterizes the game would be its slower pace. This makes Halo more of a strategic game, rather than something like Call of Duty where you would rush right in or maybe camp the entire time. The third thing would be its limited weapon set, and by no means do I consider this a flaw. With its standard set of weapons that anybody can use at any level, it's really one of the more fair aspects of the game. And then there's the learning curve. Halo isn't very big, and I really enjoy a game that requires a little bit of practice to get good. So here's a few things that we know that 343 is including in Halo 4 that has been in Call of Duty games. Now, the first thing is custom loadouts. Now, these won't play out exactly the same way they do in Call of Duty as they will in Halo 4. One of the big reasons for this is the choice of starting weapons. The only weapons that you can pick as your primary weapon would be the assault rifle, the battle rifle, the DMR, the storm rifle, which is new, and the Covenant carbine. And then for your sidearm, you have the choice of a magnum or a plasma pistol. You can see how this is going to be different from regular Call of Duty loadouts because of the limited number of weapons. You've got the assault rifle for close quarters, the BR DMR for mid to long range, so the storm rifle, which is the equivalent, I think, of the assault rifle, and the Covenant carbine for the equivalent of the BR DMR. The only potential problem I see with this is the ability to spawn with the noob combo, which is the BR and plasma pistol. Let's cross our fingers and hope that 343 balances this out. The next thing would be default sprint. Sprint was my go-to armor ability in Halo Reach, and in my opinion, impacted the game the least out of any of the armor abilities. I think this is the change that's going to resonate best with old-school Halo players, because it's going to make the map seem just a little bit smaller, similar to Halo 2 and Halo 3. Next up is the 1-second respawn timer. I think this is the exact same system implemented in Call of Duty, with the wait 1 second, tap X, and you're back in the game. This is definitely going to speed up gameplay, but I imagine more teams will reach the score to win rather than the time running out to finish the game. This is really the only change that I see affecting Call of Duty the same way it's going to affect Halo. I rarely see Call of Duty games finishing because of the time running out. Then the last and probably biggest change is care packages. They're called Ordinance drops in Halo 4, and by the looks of the multiplayer footage that we got to see at E3, it looks like it's set up similar to the support system in Modern Warfare 3. Your ordnance meter fills up based on the amount of points you get, whether it be from a regular kill, a multi-kill, a beatdown, assassination, and it doesn't reset on death. When you get enough points and fill the meter up, you'll be prompted with a D-pad menu that gives you the choice to call in a light power weapon, a heavy power weapon, or a power-up. This is by far the most drastic change that 343 has included in Halo 4 multiplayer. This has caused some people to worry about how the matches are going to flow compared to how they did in other Halo games. Instead of having the flow of battle concentrated on the power weapon spawns, players are now given the ability to spawn power weapons where they'd like to. This aspect of the Ordnance drops is fundamentally different from the care packages or kill streaks in Call of Duty. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how these play out in Halo 4 multiplayer, and to see if they make it to the MLG competitive scene. Well, that wraps it up for my comparison of new Halo features that have already been included in old Call of Duty games. After what 343 has shown us at E3, they've got me convinced that Halo 4 is going to feel like Halo, and not some Call of Duty knockoff. If you guys have any other ideas or topics pertaining to Halo 4 and want to hear my opinions on them, leave me a comment or send me a message. And again, this has been Stanfrag with Team Endgame. If you liked the video, go ahead and hit subscribe, and thank you for listening.